What exactly is the joining and where did it originate? What would you be doing in this situation here in Pluribus? And what exactly is showrunner Vince Gilligan trying to tell us? All that and more on an all-new episode of Unbinged, starting now. Welcome to Unbinged, the podcast where we talk about these shows and movies you love to binge. I'm Alfredo Brown. Joined as always, I've got Jagger May here with me today. We're talking about Pluribus, but before we do that, let's get the spoiler warning.
This is your one and only warning that we're about to spoil Pluribus. It's only 2 episodes, so catch up.
Welcome in, Pluribusters. Or Jag, what's your... Go ahead, just say what your nickname is for him.
We're the Pluribussies, if you will. Like, Pluribuster... Basically, Pluribuster is the boomer, and if you are a millennial, you're a Pluribussie. If you're millennial or younger, that's where the age gap is.
Let us know in the comments. Are you team Pluribussies or team Pluribusters? All right, Jag. So this first episode from Vince Gilligan comes out, and nobody knows what to expect. It's just from the creator of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, and the whole concept is that you have the most miserable person on earth has to save humanity from happiness. That means nothing to me, but then you go and you watch, and you get this whole concept of the joining. So let's sort of just break down what exactly that is. The title of the show, Pluribus, fun to say, comes from e pluribus unum, out of many, one. So pluribus, many, right? Jag, do you want to talk a little bit about like what you saw from this, like how this came to be? It's a signal from deep space, translates into RNA. Scientists are putting it in animals. A rat bites human. Humans start kissing each other, and it just starts getting passed along and spread out. We have this sort of understanding, I believe, from Vince Gilligan and from the show that these are not aliens. Do you believe that?
No, I don't. Because why would someone put out a signal? And maybe the actual whatever it is, because they say it's a virus and it's not, because like that was very good nutshelling, Alfredo. It was, we heard something, we fucked with it, and we're like, oh wait, the reason why this is the wrong file format. The real file format is our own DNA. So fuck yeah, let's go play with that. So we did that. Then we started sticking it in all kinds of shit. And then I'm assuming that this thing was smart enough to play dead, because that's the key. That's the key I want to hit on. The rat, she's like, I would swear that this rat was alive. The rat played dead and then bit her to spread it. And then the incentive to spread went from one person to another. That's why it may not be a weapon, or excuse me, it may not be an alien, but it's definitely a weapon.
There's something to it that makes it an entity of some sort. And I don't even know. And I think maybe that's what Vince Gilligan is trying to do here. And we'll get more into that as to like what it is. They seem to be really trying to make it so that we do not believe it is aliens. It's being called a psychic glue, so to speak, like a latent protein or dormant bacteria that allows us as people to form a hive mind. And even when Carol asks about other people, like the astronauts up in the space station, they're like, yep, we got them already. Don't worry. What about Area 51? Yeah, I got those motherfuckers too. Like, there seems to be too much planning and coordination to it, and it doesn't seem something that was happenstance. It comes from so far away. Like you said, the rat, just everything to it, it was almost like there's a playbook. That just doesn't happen out of nowhere. It's got to come from something. So where do you think this comes from? I know we're talking about like billions of light years and all that going through time and space. Where does this come from? I've heard theories like it comes from the future. It comes from another race of people that are coming to enslave the humans. So many different things. Vince Gilligan has a history in the X-Files. Is that something that is on your radar?
To me, it's that second thing you said. This feels like a primer. Someone's like, let's go send some malware over to Earth. And then once we uploaded the malware, because we're stupid, we're like, ooh, titties, she definitely wants to be my friend, and it's Twitter. And then we click the link, and now look at us. We have cancer, essentially. And now when they're traveling, because they said it was like 6 million light years or something like that, or 6 light years. I don't know. It's way fucking far. while they're getting over here, we're all primed and ready, where they can just like boot in and then we're whatever the fuck that they need us to be. That's what I think. And I think that the virus starts as an incentive and then it builds as it gets more servers, like it works like AI, machine learning. With each person, it's just like, okay, this is what gets me my goal. And then it moves faster and faster as it infects more people and gets stronger. To me, I feel 99% sure of that. I just don't know of the whom and the why.
What's crazy is that this show is giving us so many answers. Like, Carol's being pretty straightforward with everything and asking questions and then getting answers from the us or the joined or whatever.
Allegedly, we're getting answers.
Right.
We don't know if they're honest. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, right? So like we are, but in so many shows like Severance or just whatever, we kind of end up with the whole theory episodes and the mystery of everything and what's happening next. And it almost feels like they're trying to give us answers, or they're at least pretending to give us answers. And really, I think the truth or the strength of this show lies in how ambiguous it is, almost like a godlike thing. Like I went to, growing up, I went to a private Christian school where when you ask questions about God and forever and eternity and heaven, a lot of times, 9 out of 10 times, the answer is our human brains just can't really comprehend it. You have to have faith. That's almost how it feels like with this show. It's like our human brains can't quite comprehend what the answer is. Just have faith that Vince Gilligan's going to get you there.
I will say I trust Vince Gilligan. What's weird
Yeah.
is with this show, it was so out of left field. Like I love how you brought up the premise where it really was blind faith. I was like, I trust him. That doesn't sound very good. I'm going to be honest. Like when I heard it, it was just like the most miserable person on earth needs to save the world from happiness. I'm like, wow, she sounds like me and I wouldn't want to watch that,
And now we're watching. And now we're all watching,
No,
by the way, Hive Mind. Like nothing was attractive about it. We're like, fuck it. It's Apple
locked
TV.
in.
Vince
We're
Gilligan.
locked in.
Yeah.
And I wonder too, man, this is like Taylor Sheridan. Like I know what I'm going to get with Taylor Sheridan. Guns and somebody who's above the law or
Kevin
below
Costner,
it.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah. Like
Montana.
Vince Gilligan. I'm like, oh yeah, opiates. We've moved on from meth.
Albuquerque,
He's like,
New Mexico.
yeah. He's like, fuck no. We're getting brain aliens or not, or viruses. I don't know. It's really exciting.
We don't. But so at least with this, instead of like trying to figure out what this whole joining really is, because I don't think there's enough there for us to even try to piece this together. And it's going to feel so useless to try to do that. What I want to do is talk about what Vince Gilligan is trying to get across to us as the audience. Like, what is he saying with this show? Because I think that's going to get us to maybe understand it a bit more. But before we do that, I want to remind everybody we've got a bunch of ways you can enjoy this show unbinged. Okay. So please, if you're watching here on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, leave us comments down below, your thoughts on Pluribus, your thoughts on this show so far. And sorry that we're a little late with this episode. All of the schedules were kind of crazy between Predator Badlands and It Welcome to Derry. But what we're going to be doing is we will be dropping our reaction episodes to Pluribus every Thursday night after the new episodes of Pluribus release on Apple TV. So those drop at 9 p.m. Eastern. Once you finish watching that, come on over to YouTube and you'll see our videos, the episodes where we will be there giving you our after show. On top of that, we're also covering Welcome to Derry. We just covered Predator Badlands. Stranger Things is coming up. Fallout. There's so many great other shows that we're going to be taking care of here. So Jag, let's hop into this because the point that Vince Gilligan is making, I think, is also very ambiguous and can also lead to a bunch of different directions. Vince Gilligan, a known hater of AI. Love it. Cool. Thank you, man. He also has his experience with Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, X-Files. And he has said one of the things that he wanted to do by making Pluribus is show that something that doesn't have a source material, something that's not IP, it's a Marvel or DC, a comic book, a Lord of the Rings, can go out there and be made, be original, and be successful. So with this show, what is it do you think that he is exactly trying to put out there to us? Because I think that can kind of help us figure out what's going on with the joining too, if we can sort of try to decipher his message.
I mean, to be honest, I think that there's nothing to dive deeper on. You already kind of laid it out. He's like, look, man, it's kind of like Severance. He's like, hey, you don't, it doesn't have to be made from a comic before. Here's something made for TV that actually really works. But to your point on AI, I've been so dug in the show, which is a good thing because like you do this with me enough now that it's hard to remove me from the analytical on how it's made. From when I watch things, I'm so far removed from that on just like what's going on with the plot that I think he's already accomplished his original goal. Where I'm locked in, I don't know fuck all about anything. I can't go to a YouTube video, everything you need to know about Pluribus before here. I can't find that. There's no dude with Funko Pops who can explain this to me. All I can do is strap in and enjoy the ride. And that is
Got one
something
last
that's
shot at
beautiful.
Funko Pop.
I had to. One more fucking strap. I got one more in me. No kidding. I do think I do think though with the AI thing, and sometimes I do think that we try to put messages and things that aren't, but because he's made so many pointed things, and even at the end of the show, this was made by humans. What are we giving up? That's what Carol asks. She's like, all right, here's all what we gained. What are we giving up? Have you asked that question? And this almost goes into how, I'm a Southerner. I'm obviously, not, bleeding heart. The South will rise again. I'm not that. But a lot of what comes into the Southern roots is having your own autonomy. What happens when you lose all that? You just get AI slop. You're all kind of the same thing. Like when you look at AI food, why does everything look cheesy? It's because like cheese is so good that they think that that's what AI thinks is the only thing that's good. So you've made me think, Alfredo.
Yeah, I mean, dude, so like, I actually think he's not telling us anything. I think he's telling us everything all at the same time, and he found a very interesting way to say it. Whether that be the internet hive mind of how people start to just form echo chambers online, whether it's your Twitter, your Reddit, your whatever social media you're on, political and religious tribalism, and how that it sort of infects you, but you feel like you are part of a community. And even the effects of AI, like losing your own creativity, losing your sense of self, like what he did here with Carol. Like I think back to her and her wife, right? I didn't get the sense in the show that she was openly gay, that she was open with people knowing that was her wife. It felt more so like it was almost set up to be like a manager type deal, and it was the same thing that she sort of did with her character in the book, where she wanted to make her protagonist in her book that she wrote have a female love interest, and she ended up not doing that. And even Carol, how much she hates herself and hates her work, that she's not actually writing the things she wants to write. Like there's so many restrictions on Carol's life not being herself. And now she's in this world where nobody is themselves and she can be exactly who she wants to be. And she's like, wow, I kind of fucking hate this.
Yeah. It's for me on a personal level. I don't think I've ever connected with the character that made me want to analyze myself so quickly as Carol, because like you really said, she's in like the perfect spot, and me doing what I do and doing what I want to do, you're like, man, you have this really cool life. Why don't you just write what you want to write? You're doing everything because you feel like this is a lesson for Carol, where Carol is trying to do everything that she feels like she's supposed to do. We need to have a cis straight relationship with these characters because that's what sells. I don't want to alienate my straight audience or conservatives, religious people, whatever. And now we juxtapose over to what's happening now. She's like, well, you can join us. And she's just kind of the opposite, So like her source of unhappiness is joining. And maybe through this process, she realizes that she's not miserable being a writer, but she's miserable trying to be what we think or what she thinks society thinks is supposed to be a writer,
Yeah. It feels like it's a long way for her to go to like come to that realization. shit. I
The
mean,
apocalypse.
yeah, right. Which, by the way, this show it gives the vibes of like Severance mixed with Good Place. I've also heard people say Last Man on Earth.
Last Man
I
on
haven't
Earth.
seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
from what I understand, it's very good. Um, but yeah, there's so many things. Like I think Vince Gilligan is quite literally telling us everything and nothing at the same time. It's almost the what is it? The Schrodinger's cat, right? You open the box and the cat is
It's
dead, or
both
you
alive and dead.
yeah, like it is whatever you want it to be. This show and the messaging that's from it. Like I've heard everything from Carol getting mad and watching the other people seize up is snowflakes getting triggered by something that they don't like to hear. I've heard that her getting mad and people dying is a petulant nation leader with the launch codes ready to destroy people and start wars. Like there's you can kind of paint this with any brush you want and it applies. And I think that's sort of the brilliance of what Vince Gilligan's doing here.
Yeah, because that's I kind of want to dive into that spot there
Yeah.
because this is what makes me wonder what kind of entity this is, and like it is both nerfed and overpowered at the same time. It's overpowered because like you mean that all I gotta do is walk up and say it smell like bitch in here and like just do like a scared straight impression and you're just gonna
Right.
seize up, but millions of people may die. Like that's the nerf. Like you got to kind of consider how many times can you get away with that. Are we just gonna we use that word cull that you never use the word cull and it means anything good. He's like, you're just going to cull back that population by rage baiting a fucking alien entity that's gluing everything together. I'm not sure. Cause like to me, is that the nerf? Is that how we're going to have a real plot line where Carol's just not going around screaming at everyone as like a superpower?
Well, and then like on top of that, she vomits from it. Like she feels horrible about the situation because she's killing people, and you can see there's just times where she can't control it. And oddly enough, like I thought she was probably going to lose it more on the other, I guess non-joined, whatever we're calling them, the others or whatever we
The
are calling
unjoined.
these. The unjoined, sure, let's go. Joined, unjoined. So I don't know, man. Like it was Lakshmi, right? Who was dude, the scene with Carol and Lakshmi's son, where she's like, I bet he knows everything that a gynecologist would know, and just starts asking him all the questions. And he's like, that
Yeah.
would really depend. She's like, no, stop that.
Because she's like, don't cuss around my son. Like that was like, when I heard that too, I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. What a clown.
Yeah.
Like this is why I say that I feel like Carol, because I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I could be just as negative in like the whole like, do you have to curse so much? I'm like, people have asked that of me on this podcast. So,
Okay, so this makes me ask the question then. How do you handle this situation? Because a lot of the stuff I kept seeing is people kind of jokingly saying, would this be so bad? So no racism, no war, no financial crisis. There's a lot of other very obvious bad things here, right? So like, how are you handling this? Are you the opportunist guy flying in Air Force One with a bunch of baddies? Are you the untrusting malcontent Carol? Are you do you think you actually end up being one of the joined? Like I think I know who you are. If I
I'm
can guess.
I'm paranoid, dog. I'm like, I'm not
You're
gonna
Carol.
pretend everything. Yeah, I'm not
You're
gonna pretend
1,000%.
everything's okay. Yeah, I would crash out immediately. Like the fact that she kept it down to 2 is pretty good. Like, like during that situation, yeah, I wouldn't be able to do it. At best case scenario, if I play mental gymnastics, I'd be like, I'll play both sides. I'll be able to play it cool, and I'll have my cake. I'll pretend to be the opportunist. Like send
My
me
pluribus.
whores. Yeah, I'll like send me 10 pluribuses up to a penthouse, and then I'll figure it out in a minute. Like that could happen, but realistically, I'm not going to be cool with it. Like, how boring would it? Maybe it's not boring. Maybe it's not boring, but you're talking to someone who has access to every therapist. How genuine is anything? They know how to talk to you. Like nothing feels real. I wouldn't like that at all. So I'm Carol. Like I'm assuming you would be, I don't know, somewhere in between. like you.
Probably. Probably. Like I think Carol is surprisingly one of the most relatable characters in TV, because I think this is exactly how most people would be reacting. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what do you mean you guys are cool with this? This is the end of fucking humanity. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Because the joined are still saying, don't worry, we're working on it. We're going to get you guys to join too. It's not like they're saying, oh, we're here to serve and you guys can repopulate the earth and let's see what happens. This was just an accident. Our bad. We spilled milk. This is them saying, no, we're going to get all of you. Just wait and see. Like, I'm not cool with that. You start to think of like what happens. They already talked about like food and animals and saying like this is the freshest food that we can still find. Eventually, everything is just going to be all vegetarian, right? They're going to run out of
Yeah.
resources. What happens when
Yeah.
all that starts to happen? And then you have all of these joined that are essentially becoming slaves that are on Earth, just running things, trying to make things work. Like,
You do
how
shifts
deep and
like you
dark does
like
this go?
yeah, because like the other things that I'm concerned about. I mean, they just released animals from the zoo. Like it's like surely
They're just
you
like me. Sorry.
yeah, surely you connected with some. Oh, fucking. God damn
Jurassic
it! I already deleted that Jurassic ass movie from my head.
Yeah.
I do think that like surely you had a zoologist in there or someone who said that there's a better way that you could ship these animals off or something and do a better job. But like, all right, fuck it, we're good. That's what makes me think that it's not as benevolent as we think it is, because the way it just handles death. Like there's, and maybe its calmness is another sign of being alien, because like you bring up that Carol's very human in a lot of her reaction to this, that if you're going to let millions of people die or you're going to let people get mauled, they're like, well, we don't believe in violence. I'm like, okay, so you just let a fucking tiger loose in Beijing, like, okay, let's, you care. Apparently, you're okay with a little bit of violence, or
Right.
maybe you're doing mental gymnastics with it.
Because I mean, we'll think about it, right? Because even though the joined aren't doing anything to actively hurt people, which, by the way, just like AI, like you can only get it to do so many things. Like, it won't actively try to do anything wrong. Those tigers are going to want to eat. These animals are going to want to eat. Like, they're going to kill people. It's I think you're spot on, dude. Like, I don't know if there's necessarily something sinister here, but there's definitely not something good that we're
Yeah,
getting to here.
and I don't think it's gonna let everyone die, but it's just like if we lose a billion or two, it'll be okay. And I'm fucking dumb. I talk about nerdy shit for a living, but I'm not like I actually read books about smart people stuff. I don't even know the population of the world, but like I
Like
feel like
7
there's a
billion?
lot that we can lose. What'd you say?
Is it like 7 billion?
I was gonna
I
say
don't know.
7 billion. I felt like it was 7 billion.
That
So
feels right.
like
I've never read a book. I honestly have no idea.
this is why like Vig is our smart person, and he's never on this pod because he's actually a doctor
God,
that
and I
saves
wish he was
lives.
here. He'd be the perfect person to talk about all of this from episode 1.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, we're doing the
Because
thing. We're talking about someone that's not even on the show. Like, if you're watching for the first time, you have no idea what the hell we're talking about.
yeah, but he's normally with us, and he's a doctor, so we're not stupid all the fucking time. So stay tuned. But anyway, to me, it just feels like if they're willing to make these sacrifices and be cool about it. I mean, again, I've only seen aliens from TV, but I can imagine they would eventually get frustrated that they're losing whatever we are: cattle, labor, battery. If we're thinking
8.1
Matrix,
billion, by the way.
8.1 billion.
8.1 billion
Okay, so
here on
we've
Earth.
we've slept with more people and made more babies since last time I
Mhm.
looked at that number. So
And that was 2024. 2025, I hear, was nuts. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
wild.
You know that we need to have more kids, guys, according to people on the
Yeah,
internet.
get to
But
it, China.
what brings me to my point here is like, how are they going to manage that? Are we just going to die off slowly? Are people still going to bang? There's like they're not even. This is why I think the other people are clowns. They're not even asking these questions. We've been on this pod 26 minutes, and I'm like, do you guys fuck? How do you fuck? Like, why do you like?
And like that's not consensual. Like, none of that is consensual. I know we're talking about human rights when like they're not technically even humans, but like this mom Lakshmi with her son, what's he gonna do? Is he going to go to college? He's going to live a life? Like, no. The fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
I just don't understand it.
And then you got to think about her son. You got to watch her mom be a bumbling fucking idiot. And I'm not saying that she's an idiot, but when you have access to all knowledge in the world, any person is an idiot to you.
Right.
But like, maybe, well, we don't feel anything anymore. There's just, the more I talk about it, okay, here's the first thing I would do. I'd be like, okay, cool. I want you to bring me the purest cocaine you have. And I'm going to do some. And then I'm going to work through this, get all the crazy thoughts out. And
You're
then
going to go full Stephen King, write a couple books.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to lose my fucking mind for like a day because this is nuts. And then after I've coped with this is what I say. I'm Carol. Carol's like, I'm going to binge drink for like a day. I'm like, fuck yeah, you are. That's exactly how you deal with that situation. I'm going to figure it out. And then I'm going to gather all my questions. And then I have a list of like, and you're going to tell me everything. And I don't want you to hear that we're going to figure it out. Because if you need to figure it out, you need to roll this shit back now till you have a plan, you know? So
one of the things I found interesting, and we're going to talk more about, we had a bunch of people send in questions about this. One of the things I found interesting is that Vince Gilligan originally wanted this to be a male lead and make it more about the male lead getting whatever they want. He talked about this in the Pluribus official podcast over on Apple Podcasts. And he kind of laughed. He's like, yeah, it got really porny really quick. And he's like, I had to really reconsider how I was doing the show. And that's why they kind of have it the way that it is. And that's why I think like I don't necessarily know that there is a clear directive from the joining or a clear message that he's sending. I think it's sort of just the dangers of everything at this point. Like it's everything everywhere all at once. It's all of it.
Well, does that make you, because again, you know, it's like we're just in Gilligan we trust, you know, it's kind of like Patriots fans for years are like, you know, I just trust Bill Belichick until it just fucking sucked, you know. And do we have another Lost situation where Lost, they were just playing jazz? They were just like, like season 3, no plan. Like, how's this going to end? Don't know yet. You know, we'll get on Twitter, see the reaction, make some tweaks. Like, I don't want that. Do you think obviously there's got to be a way that this plane lands? He's already said that he sees 4 seasons. Right. So do you think it works like The Good Place to where we have this concept in this area we can explore? There's a loose plot, but really it's characters finding themselves is the real thing. And then it eventually ends when we're tired of it and it doesn't matter. Because like The Good Place ending was like, didn't even make fucking sense. It's like, all right, you go to a good place, then you go to the better place. Then you get tired of the better place, then you die again. And I'm like, okay, what? You know, like but we don't think about it because it's The Good Place. Is this another situation? Because this isn't just a comedy. It's something cerebral that we're talking about next to Severance, you know?
Well, fuck. Okay. That was a lot. Honestly, I think as a viewer, like I'm just kind of at the point where I'm saying I trust Vince Gilligan. And I think because the fact that he was willing to shift the story so easily kind of makes me feel like there wasn't always a main directive. He just wanted to tell a good story and see where it goes. And from what he said now, he said that he has season 1 and season 2 kind of already mapped out, that he'd love to go 3 or 4 seasons. Right. Mm-hmm. And he's like, as long as Rhea Seehorn wants to do it, like, let's get her on camera more and get as much as we can with her, because she's great. So I'm at the point where I just kind of trust him and I'm going to let him cook. What's crazy is I think like we could come back here after episode 3 on Thursday night and just be like, wow, this show has gone in a totally different direction that we weren't expecting. And I kind of like that. I kind of like that it's so open that each episode could feel so different. Each season can feel so different. I don't know that we have that with anything, even in some of like the best mystery and sci-fi, even with like Severance, we kind of know like the whole deal is that company and the innies and the outies and that. I'm curious as to where this goes.
Yeah, Severance has a lot of questions, but it has a set path, if that makes sense, you know?
Yeah. This is the world.
Yeah, this is the whole world, and it feels like you have an open sandbox. Even. Yeah, and honestly, you get opposite feelings with this, where with Severance, everything feels so enclosed. And I know that's intentional, where like you just feel boxed in even when you're done. Here, it's like scary. What's the opposite of claustrophobia? Where you're scared of like open spaces. This is how I feel with this. You know, there's too many possibilities, not enough answers. Don't love that. You know, that's especially when you're a writer. What are you gonna do with your time? You know, it's
Mhm.
like, let me entertain the world. You know.
It's weird. It's overwhelming almost to a point where like you really feel how overwhelmed Carol is because I think it needs to be big like this. She has the weight of humanity on her shoulders, kind of, at least from what we're seeing, that nobody else really cares at this point. So it's one of these things like that she's living with every day. What do we do? And the scope of it being so big, it's the whole world, it's the whole population. It comes from light years away. Like this is such a big, open, overwhelming scope, and I think they're doing a good job with that. Oddly enough, like in Albuquerque, New Mexico, man, that's a Vince Gilligan spot. He loves that.
Mm-hmm. And
Okay,
I wonder, are we gonna? Can you get more characters? How do you get more characters when you do? Because like we got some decent well knowns early on. Because there's only 5 other people who speak English, and 11 people, 12 people total who are unjoined. This leaves to where you have a small cast or you do have a big cast, but technically it's one personality. Like everyone basically is playing one calm personality that's just talking to you calmly and trying to get you for not to not fucking scream so you don't freeze up or whatever, you know?
that I think is really interesting. I hadn't even thought of that. That you can have an endless cast that's essentially just the same person. That's kind of cool. Um, what I was wondering here is I think like two is the possibilities do become endless because just as quickly as the people of Earth end up being part of the joining, there's obviously going to be enough wrinkles in the story and enough bumps in the road where you're saying, oh, some of the people are unjoining. What happens when you have to like kind of calm them down and you have to reintegrate them? Do they go like you almost get that moment from Get Out where like Keith Stanfield gets a picture taken of him and like he's back
Mm-hmm.
to being himself for a second, right? Like, does that happen with some of these in the joining? Like, are the people still alive? Are they in sort of a sunken place? Like, I know I just started making this left turn into Get Out, but it does feel a bit like that.
Can like and my thing is like can you like scream somebody out literally like Godfather? I'm like I want you to be a man, and you know just like shake it, you know, you just shake him,
The power of
and
Christ compels you.
yeah, and if you just like really fucking push it, you might be able to get someone loose.
It's going to be really intriguing to see how this goes. Jag, I know you and I have a bunch of questions, but we got some questions from the audience, and we're going to be doing this for every episode that we have here for Pluribus and Welcome to Dairy, Stranger Things, Fallout, all these. We're going to be taking your questions over on Threads, so make sure that you are following us over there. The links to our accounts are going to be in the description below. Alfredo A. Brown, Jag is at Jag Says over on Threads, so we'll be posting those up there. Jag, first question we got here is it an allegory for addiction or religion? It seems like the most important question would be who sent the signal versus someone's name. So I guess the question here, first of all, allegory for addiction or religion? Yes, I think is the answer.
Both as
It's not an
likely
or.
as the next thing. Yeah, is where I'm
Yeah,
at.
it's not
Yeah.
an or. The question of who sent the signal, I think, is most intriguing. Is this an accident? Does it come from someone? What in your mind would make the most sense for a story?
To me, that it was sent to make us docile. That makes more sense for a story, and that's me trying to rationalize the easiest path. You know, like I don't know how long Vince Gilligan has been cooking this idea, so obviously there might be somewhere, and I honestly hope there's something else that I might not be thinking of. You know.
I almost wonder, like, I kind of think I want it to be something that was almost a mistake. Like it was just happenstance. It wasn't sent by anyone. Because if we're going to keep doing all the what it's mirroring in real life, like people that believe that diseases are spread because someone specific is releasing them, right? That a certain country is using that to weaponize, right? Like a lot of that came out with COVID. So, I mean, this gave very similar vibes of like COVID and quarantine and all that and humanity. Like, I'm wondering, what if this wasn't a weapon from anything? It is just something that happened because of something out there in space. You know, like the truth is out there. He always had in the X Files.
Mm-hmm.
What if it was from nothing? I know that's such a Jerry Seinfeld answer. Like it's a show about nothing, but I feel
Yeah.
like that's kind of what Gilligan's going for.
I mean, I'm here for it because to me the lesson is it's like maybe we should stop fucking with stuff and maybe we could just be happier. You know, like
I like this though. What if we did it to ourselves? I mean, we
yeah,
kind of did.
Really, we did. We literally, we just heard something, and then we turned it to what it is. We literally tweaked it and weaponized it until it's just that is just so us. It's just like, how do we make it kill stuff? You know, that's the first thing
They're
that we
doing it in
think
Welcome
of.
to Derry. They're like, let's go find this clown and strap him
Yeah.
to a rocket. You know, like
It is just so American where anything new, it's just like, let's make a gun out of it. You know, It's just immediately we're trying to make a fucking gun. And I felt like that's what they were doing. And like, we deserve this. So if there's one thing we can learn, let's not make a gun at everything. And two, let's learn from the virus that like, hey, maybe we can keep something from the unity. Like, would racism and hate actually go away if everyone was like kind of fused for a second? Or when you gained your individuality back, would you just like remember it's just like, oh yeah, I hate black people. You know, that's just like something that happens. So,
all right, I got a couple more questions here. Someone asked, is this simply the next evolution of humanity? Is this virus sent before an actual invasion to make the entire race docile? Jag, you kind of touched on that earlier. Do you get the vibes that it's going to be some sort of like enslaving thing, or could this actually just be the next evolution of humanity and we, or at least the people who are unjoined, are struggling to adapt to that?
why would that be the next evolution of humanity? Like,
I don't know, man. The Predator made autism the next evolution of humanity.
It's true. That is the next. That is the next step. It's like to become autistic. Start popping that Tylenol, y'all.
Sponsor my channel.
Yeah. I think that I don't believe that because why would someone send a signal? You know, someone's just like, y'all need to level up, y'all. Here you go. Here's that new joint.
What if it's an accident, something that gets unlocked in us? Like I kind of start to think of it's far fetched, right?
Like Deadpool, like they Deadpool us.
something like Deadpool, where it's like they get unlocked as a mutant, and you're kind of like going through all the trauma of it. Even like Limitless, right? Where the whole thing is like we're only using 10% of our brains. Like, what if when we do use the remaining percentage of our brains, we all become a hive mind? Very similar. Okay, here we go. Another comp, Alien Earth, where our Wendy character can basically be on the same wavelength as the xenomorph because she's continuing to evolve, and she almost generates a hive mind with the xenomorph. What if that's what the humans are doing? What if that's what the joining is? It's people that are all on the same wavelength because now their mind has evolved to that next level.
I mean, that's just all clicks and fucking and whistles at that point. So
I don't know. I think I just made a scientific fact. I'm pretty proud of that one. As we just
hey man, put that out in the universe. Send a signal. Yeah,
no thanks.
What if it's something even dumb where someone just like, hey, yo, listen to my mixtape. And we're like, what is it? And then all of a sudden we've accidentally made like brain COVID. You know?
It's what's the thing from Black Mirror where it's like the little cookie thing that they put on there.
Oh yeah. It's called a cookie. It's just called a cookie. Yeah.
Yeah. And she starts doing ads, like just that's what we end up becoming. This is less of a question, but more of just a statement from one of the audience members. Is, if humanity's so happy in a hive mind, how are they okay with being sexually abused by one of the immune? Like we see that with Mr. What was his name? I put it here, Mr. Diabate. Who's like, yep, I'm going to go to Vegas. I'm taking all my pluribuses with me, and we're going to go stay at the Elvis suite.
Well, that's what Carol said. She's like, cool, you're just fine. You basically traded a person. You're like, are you done with this one? It's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm done, you know?
And it's talking out of the both sides of his mouth, because at first he's like, well, look at how good everything is. There's no racism. And then instantly goes basically into slave trading. Just insane.
And it's like technically he asked permission, but the
Still,
individual did it. You know,
people.
that's
I
and
mean,
like,
people paid for slaves. Like it didn't make it okay that the transaction was done that way.
and I think that guy's not. I don't think he's ever been rich in his life.
No.
Like he's a total fraud. Everything he's acting is not how a rich person would do. He's just like, look, I'm in this now. You know, like I'm in the presidential. Was that Air Force One and he went to
Yeah.
whatever? You know, he showed up at Air Force One, and he's the type of dude who would fall in love with ChatGPT. You know, he's just like,
Yes.
he's like, I've talked to her and I found her interesting. It's like, no fucking shit, dude. She knows everything in the world. She knows everything in the fucking world. She's done everything in the world that a person could do. It's in her head right now. You know, like, it's what a clown. The more I talk about it, that guy's a fucking clown. You know?
All right, last one on here. Someone said, I just want to know if they're all one with that patient zero rat. Are those rats all still alive? Like, are they hive mind with the rat? How does this
Yeah, they're
work?
one. We are legion because we are many.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that like that mouse is so fucking smart. What kind of jobs could you give that mouse at that point?
All right, this was a good breakdown of episodes 1 and 2 of Pluribus. We had a lot of fun with this one. We are going to be back again for episode 3 of Pluribus. And guys, like I mentioned, we are going to be uploading our reaction to the episodes as soon as the episode airs on Apple TV Plus. Those are going to be up on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll be uploading our episodes around 9:45 p.m. Eastern. So as soon as you finish that episode, you can come on over to YouTube and join the after show with us. We'll be talking about everything from that episode you just watched. We also got It, Welcome to Derry. We just watched Predator Badlands. Stranger Things is coming up. Fallout, The Pit. There's so many great shows that we're going to be talking about. So make sure you are subscribed here to Unbinged. Take a second to also leave us a review on Apple or Spotify. It means the world to us. We are an independent podcast just looking to grow and be in front of more people. As always, I want to thank everybody for watching or listening all the way through. For myself, for Jag, we'll see you next time. Adios.